you can say created by, in this key value pairs out here, ARM template, you can say owner, you can say, sorry, again simple key value pairs that you need to, let's say, mention in quotations in a JSON format, say xyz@gmail.com, @outlook.com, whatever it is, and just scroll down. These are tags here, which are all the values that is possibly that you can say put inside it. Then you have what? Location. Let's forget what this is giving. I'll just delete this out, and I'll give an actual location called US2, Central US, Central India, whatever it is. So I'm giving a location value. Kind is what? Storage V2 version 2. Then you have what? SKU. It has what? Premium LRS, TRS premium. I'll just change this. Again, I don't have to write it. I edited this out. Meaning I deleted completely this value. After this, I can do a control and space. As in when I do a control space, it'll load all the suggestions that I can, let's say, or it'll load all the values that I can use. And from here, I can say standard LRS. And here, the tier here is standard. What I need to change one more is that the name of the storage account. The name should be unique 3 to 24 characters. So I'll say it is dev ARM storage account 000 USEs2. Something which is unique out here. And I am good with this. My template is ready. I'll just do a control and a save. And I'll say this is storage. And I will save this in a JSON format. Dot JSON file out here. Done. Now, how do I deploy this? Meaning, how do I create a resource? Where should I go to create a resource? Multiple, ways where you can, let's say, deploy this out. One of the simplest way, just go to your Azure portal and just type in deploy. As in when you, let's say, search for deploy, you will have something called deployment scripts. You have deploy a custom template. Go to deploy a custom template. Say build your own template and load the file. We saved the file in this particular folder. Done. Save this out. Then it's going to ask you what is a resource group name. You do not have a resource group. That's what I was telling, is that create a resource group out here, telling that this is demo ARM RG. Again, resource group can be in any location. Storage account can be in any location. Shouldn't be an issue. I'll say review and create this out. Validation passed. I'll create it out right now. And it will simply take whatever template that you have and create a deployment out here. So I went into the Azure portal, said deploy a custom template, loaded that particular file, created a resource group, and I was now starting to deploy this. Now starting to deploy this out here. So now it's taking my template and creating a deployment for me, and it is creating what? A storage account with this particular name called dev ARM storage 000 USEs2 out here. So I didn't do a lot of effort, right? When I was doing PowerShell, I was doing a lot of if else loops. I was doing a lot of things out here. I did parameterization and all these things out here. But in here, all I did is just started with ARM and then let's say went into the resources, said ARM hyphen storage, gave the name, changed just the name out here, and then deployed this out. And it ended up creating a storage account. And if I go into this particular storage account out here, I have this in LRS. I have tags also, display name, created by, and all these things, and everything is some, or all these tags is something that I, let's say, went ahead and declared it inside my, let's say, template out here. Yes, any questions still here that I can take on how do you write an ARM template out here?
Yeah, hi Kiran.
Good, please.
Yeah, how this ARM template, the connection between our portal.
I'm sorry,
Hello,
can you come
resound
again,
is
please? Your
coming here.
voice.
Hello,
Go ahead.
hello.
Your voice is. Yeah, go ahead,
Yeah,
please.
now fine. Yeah, now fine. Yeah, how this ARM template knows our Azure portal like that, our subscription, our. Mm.
Uh, so what I did here is that I went into the portal directly, and I'm already logged into the portal. I've already
Yes,
logged into the
sir.
portal using this. Mhm.
Yeah, we write in JSON, right? Visual Studio Code, right?
Correct. So I took this
Uh,
entire JSON file. I went into the
okay,
portal. Now
you.
Ganesh is already.
Okay.
Yeah, I went into the portal and I said deploy the template. And when I was telling build your own template, I loaded this file. So the
Okay, like
JSON
this only
doesn't know the
connection.
connection. Yeah, the
Okay,
JSON
okay.
doesn't know the connection. There is nowhere that the JSON has the connection. You can simply take this template, go into your portal and do the same thing. It will work.
Okay, we are uploading that. That itself is
Correct.
enough.
Correct. That
Okay,
itself is, let's say, establishing the connection between the Azure portal.
okay, okay.
Yes. Any more questions here?
So ARM means it's a predefined script, right?
Correct. It's a predefined script. Correct.
So then what's the use of a PowerShell?
The use of PowerShell comes into picture when there are a couple of things that ARM cannot achieve. For example, let's say the client has already created, or your organization has already created hundreds of storage accounts, and they are now telling you that what, we have hundreds of storage accounts, but we need to now get all the storage accounts back into LRS. There is something in GRS, there is something in RAGRS, etc. Can you check what are all the storage accounts that are there in, let's say, GRS, or let's say anything apart from LRS, and get it to LRS? In that cases, ARM template really cannot help you out here. ARM template excels in resource creation, but not in resource management. PowerShell excels in resource management, but not in resource creation out here. Meaning you can also create resources using PowerShell, but it is not that efficient as ARM template is. ARM template really cannot manage resources as PowerShell does. So normally when you start working in a project, you would probably use a combination of both. I mean, multiple tools out here like ARMs and PowerShell and all these things out
So
here.
ARM only for storage creation.
Not only for storage creation, any resource creation in Azure. Since we only know about storages, I'm talking about storages out here.
Okay. So can I use this script to in PowerShell?
Can I use this script with PowerShell? As in, I didn't get you. Can you come again, please?
So can I use this script in by using PowerShell? So I don't want to write all these things in PowerShell.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a predefined script is there.
Mm-hmm.
So can I copy this into PowerShell?
No, you cannot copy this into PowerShell. You cannot do that. But can you deploy an ARM using PowerShell? Yes, you can do that. You can deploy an ARM template using PowerShell. We'll also talk about that. But you cannot copy this into PowerShell. No, you cannot do that. Yes, any more questions here?
Look, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Yeah. So, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, if you want to create 10 storage accounts like we talked about earlier, so can
Right.
this ARM template be useful, or like you have to merge it inside the loop of a PowerShell script?
No, you don't have to. ARM template is really useful there in
Hmm.
resource iteration as well. We'll talk about that too,
Okay.
on how the
Okay.
resource iteration is. Mhm.
So, I mean, is there any other instance you are mixing both of them?
Uh, like ARM, and, sorry, PowerShell and ARM.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes, there will be cases where you, let's say, try to mix both of them. I'll also show you. We'll also talk about the cases where we also have a demo for that, on how do you
Okay.
use PowerShell with ARM, where do you use PowerShell with ARM, and how is it advantageous.
Okay. Okay.
When will the admin classes start again? We are in the admin classes only. This is all admin only. This is everything that basically that we are doing is admin only. August 1st, DevOps, no. I won't be able to start DevOps on August 1st. I need August 2nd week to start DevOps. It's not going to start in August 1st week, because there are literally a lot of concepts that I need to cover. And this week is completely on ARM. And after that, I need to, let's say, go into some more administration concepts like networking, virtual machines, PaaS services, and all these things, and then move into DevOps out there. Yes, any more questions related to the ARM topic out here?
Yeah, Kiran, can we cover that migration part like from on-prem to cloud like that?
No, I'm not doing migrations out here. Migrations, again, I need an on-premise infrastructure, so we're not doing migrations out here. But I can give you
Okay.
source materials from where you can, let's say, go and read migrations out there.
Okay, when you go into admin profile, might be that also they will expect, right?
Not totally, not totally. Again, migration, you have migration engineers for that. When you're
Okay.
going to admin profile, migrations is something that is not totally asked out there.
Okay.
Yes, any more questions here? Now, my question is that I have deployed a template with or which creates or which created a storage account called dev arm storage acc000 something like this in standard LRS and some let's say standard SKU and all these things out here. My question for everyone is that what if I try to redeploy the same template? Will it work or will it fail? If I again take my own template, if I load the file once again, I'm still loading the same file out here. I'll say save. I'll use the same resource group that I have. And if I do a review and create, what do you think will happen?
Fail.
The same file already exists.
Already exists and it should fail. But let's try this out. It says that the validation is passed at least. Let's go ahead and create this out. And it's now telling submitting deployment. It's not failed yet. Let's see where will it fail. Let's ask a couple of questions out here and see where will it fail. Let's refresh this out and it's done. And what did it deploy again? Same thing again. It did not fail. It will not fail because it's doing an if else inside. It will not fail. I did not do, let's say, an if else. I did not write an if else statement out here. This is called as an incremental approach. What do I mean by this incremental approach out here is very simple. ARM template is just looking at the properties of the resource. It's telling, okay, fine. Do I already have a storage account with this name? It says, yes, you already have a storage account with this name. Great, not a problem. Is there any change in the tags? No change, not a problem. Is there is there any change in, let's say, the SKU? No change. I'll just say, okay, fine, all these things look good. So I won't do anything. I'll just validate whether the storage account has all these properties or not. But let's do one thing. What if I change the location from East US to West US? Save my template. Again, go to the Azure portal. I'll go to deploy a custom template out here. I'll say build your own template. Load the file. Same file out here, but one change is in the location. And I'll say save. Same resource group. And if I now want to deploy this out, what do you think will happen?
The same file
Create,
will
sorry,
be created.
let's understand this.
Page name is same, so I think it won't create.
It won't create. Then what exactly will it do? What change will it do? West US.
It will change the
Can I
location.
migrate? It'll change the location. But can you change the location of a resource after it's created? Yes. Yes, definitely. Are you sure about that? Yes. I'm 100% sure you cannot.
We cannot do that.
I'm 100% sure you cannot. How can you change the location of a resource? Did you try changing the location of a resource in the portal after it's created? Definitely not. You cannot change it.
It will
So then
recreate
what will happen?
again.
It'll recreate again. But let's try this. To recreate it, it has to first delete it. But will it delete it? It'll fail here. And if you look at the
No.
error, what is it telling you? The resource called something is already existing in ECS2. You cannot go ahead and let's say create with the same name with this in a different location out here, because storage account should be globally unique in nature. You cannot go ahead and recreate the same thing out here. Also, just a quick information, you cannot change the location of a resource after it is created. There is no way that you can do that. There is no way that you can go ahead and let's say change this out. But let's
Kiran,
say, good please.
yeah, Kiran, if I change the name, I think it will be created in West to West, right? So obviously it will be the different storage account.
Sorry, can you come again, please? If you change the
I'm
name,
saying like if we change the name,
hmm
then we can then it will recreate, even if the
yes,
location
then
is changed.
it'll create it in a different location. For example, if I change the name to 3 because this is now a unique name which probably doesn't exist in West US, then I'll simply go ahead and create this out. But if I just only change the location out here, so if I just change the name out here and then do this, I'll just come back. I'll say deploy.
And sorry for
hmm
disturbing, Kiran. One more thing. So
Sure, good
only
please.
storage account name should be
hmm
unique worldwide, right? So what about
Correct.
if it is the a resource group name? If I change in West US
hmm
with the same resource group name, will it create?
In West US, right? So let's try
Yeah,
that
I'm
out.
saying like I've created some Kiran one in East US, and the same Kiran
Right.
one I want to do in West US also.
The resource groups should be unique per the subscription. So if I let's say do West US also, the point here is that the research group with the name already exists in this particular subscription out here. Now you can have a same research group created with the same name created in another subscription will work. But in the same subscription, you cannot go ahead and create the same research group with the same name, even if the region is different.
Okay, okay, thank you. So if it is a different subscription, we can do.
Yes, if it's in a different subscription, you can go ahead create a research group with the same name out here, not a problem. But storage accounts have to be globally unique, meaning you cannot, let's say, reuse the same name that I am using in your subscription as such.
Okay, thanks, Kiran.
No problem. All right, so now I'll just, let's say, get this back to 2, and I'll say this is East US2, the same property that I have. Now, instead of passing it this as, let's say, standard LRS, can I do a standard GRS? And if I do this, then what will happen? Same name, same location, but this is now changing called standard GRS out here. Now, what do you think will happen if I deploy this out? Sorry, SKU may change. Let's try that out. I'll load this file, save this out, and I'll say the same resource group out here, review and create this out. As of now, the SKU of my storage account is standard LRS. This is what I do have right now. This is what I have, standard LRS. And if I create this out, now as I was telling, ARM templates work in an incremental mode. It'll first check whether this particular storage account exists here, great. Tags any change, no. The only change is what? GRS, from LRS to GRS. Now the question is, can I change it from LRS to GRS? Yes, definitely. I don't, let's say, have to
It's
recreate. I
possible.
don't have to delete and recreate it. If it is yes, then let's say the ARM template deployment will only change this property. and go ahead and make that change for you on the portal. So if I go back, now it's a deployment is done. Let's go here, GRS out here. So it just changed that particular property. Did not even touch the tag, nothing. It didn't touch all these things out here. It went ahead, just it did a very small change out here. This is how ARM templates kind of work, and this is how you write a very simple ARM template. Again, of course, we are going to talk about parameters, variables, and all these things out. But let's understand how to write, let's say, a simple ARM template. Let's try to, let's say, do some experimentation with this ARM template out here, and let's understand how to deploy, let's say, a very simple ARM template. Once we are comfortable with this, we'll move forward to, let's say, parameters and, let's say, using PowerShell with ARM and all these things out here. Yes, any questions that I can take here? Any questions that I can take till here?
Hi,
What is
Kiran.
the API
Go ahead, please.
version, Kiran?
I'm sorry,
API,
API version.
yeah, it will be default or
API version is default, meaning Microsoft does is that with each and every version it gets some changes out here. But as and when I load, let's say, something called ARM-storage, it will give me the latest API version that is available out here. So this is something which is default. I don't have to really change this out. Yes, any questions? Any more questions here? For creation, and for example, I change this out, right? So a little bit of management, but mostly for creation out here. Creation, yes. Yes.
Hi, Kiran.
Just a second. I was taking a question offline. I'll just come back to you. Yeah, go ahead, please. How to cool? Yes. Yes, correct. On how to cool, correct. Tags also you can change. You can, recreate the tags and all these things. But yes, these are the allowed changes out here. Yes, someone online had a question.
Yeah, Kiran. So earlier we have loaded the same file without making any changes, right?
Hmm.
So in that case, will it create a new one because it should not, right? Storage
Uh,
account name should be globally unique. If you are loading the same file, then it is taking the same name, right?
can you come again with the question a little slow, please? I'm sorry, I didn't catch you.
Yeah, I mean to say, earlier we have loaded the same file without making any changes in the script.
Hmm. Hmm.
So in that case, it went successful and deployed the script. Actually, it should not,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Because storage account name should be globally unique.
Yes, it is globally unique, and it did not. It did not deploy it. It checked whether it existed or not. So it just did a
Okay.
check out there. That's it.
Create time it did not change, right, Kiran? That's why it checked its if condition.
Correct. It was an if condition. It was just checking whether all the properties are in place or not.
Yeah, create time if you observe that whole time only it will be.
Sorry, was that a question for me? I didn't get you. Or were you?
No. Create time it did not change, right? So that's why
Correct.
if condition happened backend.
Exactly.
So
The created
ARM and
time did not
bicep.
change. Hmm.
So
Go ahead,
ARM,
please.
bicep, and then terraforms all are having the same purpose or a different purpose.
All the three are having the same purpose. ARM, Bicep, and Terraform all have the same, let's say, purpose out here. Then the question can be, then why are there three? Why can we just learn one and, let's say, practice all these things out? Yes, you can just learn one, but the thing here is that Terraform is now easier than ARMs. Now, the PowerShell is the most toughest. ARM is a little easy. Terraform is the most easiest out there. So again, Terraform boils down to JSON files again, back again. So we'll also look at Terraforms, but you need to understand ARM before we go to Terraform out there. So Terraform is the most easiest one, and Terraform falls under the open source category. So I'm taking it, let's say, a little later after we cover all these things out here. But if you have multiple technologies in your hand, it'll be a bigger edge basically when you are, let's say, sitting in a job interview and all these things out here.
Okay.
Hmm. Like PowerShell again, when you're doing IAM, again, very importantly, I'll have to ask you what kind of an access you want. Mm. So it's not a SAS, it's an RBAC that you want to do. So as I was earlier telling you, it is new hyphen AZ a role assignment. This is what I told you already. It's called as a role assignment, and this is what I was asking you to check out. Called role assignment. What is the object ID? Meaning object ID as in what is the name of the resource or what is the name of the person whom you want to, let's say, assign the access to. And if you look at the example out here, this is how you go ahead and give an access out there. You can also do the same thing with ARM template also. It's role assignments. You can also do the same thing with ARM template as well. Containers using this, yes, you can do that. You can create the containers. Yes, you can do multiple storage accounts as well, which we'll look at. Like we'll look at the resource iteration and how do you create multiple storage accounts and all these things. So, is any more questions here? I'm sorry, can you come again, please? Mhm. Uh, Again, you can create multiple. You can do it in the same object. If you're doing in the same object, it's a biggest advantage because you don't have to write multiple things out. Again, resource iteration is something that I'll take, but not today. But I'll do it in day after because tomorrow I have one more concept to cover, and day after we'll talk about resource iterations out here.
Uh,
Yes,
Can I
any
delete my Azure account?
can you delete your Azure account? Yes, you can delete, but firstly you'll have to, let's say, cancel your Azure subscription. You cannot delete an account. You can delete your subscriptions out here. So if you click on cancel your subscription, after you cancel the subscription, you'll have to wait for about 3 days to go ahead and delete this account out here. So once you cancel it, wait for 3 days. After that, there'll be an option to delete your subscription. You can come here and delete it out there. Yes, any more questions here? All right, thank you guys, and please practice this out. Please look at a simple ARM template, and we'll start, let's say, expanding our knowledge on ARM, and we'll also see resource iteration and all these things. Thank you, and have a good day ahead.